My next patron question is from Robert, who wants to know what could be adapted into an animated film next. Paramount has had a habit of recently adapting old school IPs, especially ones that came out in the 1980s, into animated movies. We had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem in 2023, then we had Transformers 1, and last year we had Smurfs. This year looks like they won't be releasing an animated movie based on old school IP, although next year we'll see the release of the sequel to Mutant Mayhem. So I'm wondering if this trend will continue and what other old school IPs from the 1980s or even 1970s or 1990s would you like to see them adapt into an animated movie next? I was thinking Voltron, but since that's been confirmed to get a live action movie, I'm not really sure if that has a chance to get one anytime soon, but it could still happen in the future. To answer this question, we first need to figure out what Paramount owns the rights to and thus could potentially turn into an animated movie. The first thing I thought of was Mighty Mouse. Paramount has actually been trying to make this happen for many years, with multiple filmmakers giving it a go, including John Woo at one point. Recently it was announced that Ryan Reynolds was going to produce and star in a Mighty Mouse movie. Since then, Paramount was acquired by Skydance, so who knows if that's still in development over there. But reports have indicated that new CEO, David Ellison, has a preference for movies based on pre-existing material. So maybe Mighty Mouse might survive the new corporate ownership. It should also be noted that he recently appointed Jennifer Dodge, who was president of the toy company Spin Master, as the new president of Paramount Animation. Her work at Spin Master, which is primarily known as the producer of the Paw Patrol franchise, might lead one to believe she might prioritize projects with toyetic appeal, but we'll see what happens. One of the most successful franchises in the Paramount library is, of course, Star Trek, which is no stranger to animation. There have been a few recent animated shows, and back in the 70s, Star Trek the Animated Series served as almost a fourth season to the original series. There have been struggles trying to get another theatrical Star Trek movie off the ground, whether with the crew of the recent movies or with a new set of characters. But maybe something they could try, whether for theaters or for Paramount Plus, is an animated movie taking place during the events of the original series, giving us a new adventure with Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and the rest of that crew. They could probably find some talented actors who could get those voices down. I wonder what something like that might be like. Looking at properties not currently owned by Paramount, there is one character who used to be a major staple at the studio, but their rights to him expired long ago. That would be Popeye. Genndy Tartakovsky has famously tried a few times to direct an animated feature about Sailor Man, first at Sony and then working alongside King Features Syndicate, but neither attempt got off the ground. It was recently announced that Sheridan Entertainment was partnering with King Features to make a live-action film, but I think Popeye is a character best suited to animation. Maybe he could return home to Paramount and get the opportunity to be on the big screen again, first in animated shorts to gauge audience interest and then getting a feature. Speaking of movies that did not make it past development, I feel like an animated film about Alf could be a fun way to revive that character. Initially, Sony got the rights to make a live-action CG hybrid film, but nothing came out of it. Warner Brothers attempted to produce a new television series with that cat-eating alien, but that did not take off either. But maybe an animated film could be the key to returning Alf to prominence. Meanwhile, Sony almost turned the short-lived 80s cult series Manimal into a live-action CG hybrid film in the 2010s. Maybe Paramount could give that a go if they're daring enough. And sticking with the 80s theme, what about Inspector Gadget? I think with the right script and talent involved, an animated movie with that character has potential to work. So maybe Paramount could give it a try. Although, to be honest, Illumination is more the studio that comes to mind that I think will be ideal for an Inspector Gadget movie. I do want to address Robert's suggestion of Voltron, and there's certainly a newfound fan base that has developed thanks to the DreamWorks animation show. As was mentioned in the question, there is a live-action film currently in post-production with MGM as the film's distributor after Universal decided not to release it. Now, depending on that deal, either an animated film will be done at DreamWorks Animation with Universal distributing, or maybe MGM will be the one to handle it, like they will the live-action Voltron movie. But I don't see it ending up in Paramount's hands. What might end up with Paramount, unless exterior forces put a stop to it, is the Warner Brothers library. This is something I'm not looking forward to in the least. Were that to happen, you would see a lot of movies from both the Warner and Paramount slates get cancelled in the wake of such a merger. This would likely include quite a few animated films. Skydance has probably already cancelled a bunch of promising animated movies following the acquisition of Paramount. But leaving that sad possibility aside and getting back to the original question, are there old school properties you would like to see get the animated film treatment of Paramount? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for the question, Robert.